I was just like, I wish people can get arrested faster on planes.
For what?
Don't put your phone on speaker.
What do you mean? Just like
just being a piece
you're
of shit.
allowed, get arrested.
You're allowed.
John, like,
Just shut the fuck up.
and welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. I'm Alex.
And I am John.
And we're.
Your gracious host.
How was your trip, John?
It was so great.
I feel like we recorded last. It feels like a month ago, but it wasn't. It was just
I feel
like,
a little rusty, right? Because it's been like 2 weeks since we recorded.
I'm just like tired too. We got back last night at 2 a.m.
I know. That was. Is that Kobe?
Yeah.
Kobe,
He's just huffing and puffing.
He's like, you can't be silent.
He just wants all the attention. That's why. He's sick of us leaving him. That's why.
I don't know. I feel like he had a good time with Goo though.
Probably.
Yeah, we got back at like 1:40 in the morning. So, and now we're back to the grind again.
But it was nice. It was a nice getaway. As much as I want to say that John loved Universal Studios and Harry Potter World and Disney, unfortunately my dreams were crushed and he hated it.
Yeah, I had a terrible time. It was not fucking worth it.
We
It's
made
so expensive. I'd rather, like I said beforehand, I'd rather go somewhere like not even all inclusive, but even somewhere just. You could go somewhere really nice for how much money we spent at Disney.
It is so expensive, but I feel like it's worth it.
No, it's not.
I mean, it depends how you look at it. I think you have to go in with the mindset of it's really expensive. There's crowds. You're going to wait in lines. And
I don't really know
none of
how
that sounds fun. But
anyone knows who could afford to go to Disney. I mean, it's really expensive. I'm on this train right now. Like your parents got tickets. And Alex was like, well, we'll get the fast pass. I didn't really know how much it would be. For 4 people, it was $700 for fast passes.
that was at
like,
Universal.
Whatever. Universal. I'm
And
like,
then it's
that
like
is-
everyone gets them and then you're still
you're
waiting.
still in line. It wasn't that bad.
I think we need to like talk to, I know that I'll never go back with you, but when I go back in the future, I will talk to like an expert who knows how to like work the system. Because that I think was the biggest issue.
Hey, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have worked the system at all. I'm the one that was like, you know what?
Let's do
I guess Disney's
Single riders.
lightning round or something.
Lightning Lane.
Lightning lane. And then you can also, it's lightning lane and then 4 single riders. So there's lines, like 2-hour long lines for people to just ride the ride as like a group. But I'm like, fuck it, let's go by ourselves. And we got to the top
Pro
of the
tip.
top of the line, front of the line.
I mean, it makes sense that like most people would go in the regular line because if you're traveling with your small kids, but if you don't
Sure.
mind splitting up, and we didn't realize that, of course, till like
Not all the rides do that.
halfway
though.
through the day. That's true. Yeah.
My other thing is, it is more for kids. It is all these rides. Disney
Universal wasn't.
Even Universal only had a few rides. Listen, from Virginia, we have King's Dominion.
John,
we have
but
Busch Gardens,
you're
Williamsburg.
comparing-
There's
you're comparing
roller
something
coasters.
that's like family friendly with like experienced rides like that are more about like the visual effects than like roller coasters. If you're looking to go on roller coasters, like these aren't the parks for you.
I never knew that. I didn't know that was like there was a difference.
So is that why you were in a bad mood the whole time?
I mean, I don't feel like waiting in line. We wait in line, and then it's like I'm on this little VR thing. Like I have a Meta Quest at home or whatever they're called. I would just use that.
I really did enjoy though that Star Wars one. What was it? It's the line was the longest for it.
Not worth it.
I still think it was,
Not
I'll go
fucking
back by
worth it.
myself.
It was cool.
Or if any
they,
of you guys
they put
wanna
a
come
lot
with
of
me.
work into it. The detail, everything. If I was a kid, I'd actually probably still hate it because I'm just a grumpy old soul. But like, I can see why kids love it.
Yeah. You
Not
do. You
for
feel
me,
like you're in
though.
another planet.
What was that? When we met that couple at the airport yesterday, and she was like, "I'm going to Star Wars or whatever, like for
Yeah.
Star Wars night." I wanted to like bash Disney and all
I was
this,
like,
but I'm
do
like, you
not
know what?
rain on anyone's
There
parade,
are
John.
adults who really love to go to this, and I find that very fucking
I'm just more
strange.
annoyed that we didn't go, like we went to Epcot and we didn't go around the world. I think if like you had a different experience, like maybe if you were like drunk, you would have had fun.
Let's talk about that. We went with Alex's parents, and her dad has plantar fasciitis. He is dragging his fucking leg behind us. Alex and her mom are like "Rah, rah, rah, rah," talking to each other 30 feet away from us, ahead of us, and your poor Dan's just like, oh my god.
He wanted to go.
Oh my God.
He wanted to go to Star Wars world. How do you like? What is it?
We should
Star
have-
Wars plant. What would you call it?
I don't know.
The Star
You're asking the wrong
Wars
person.
area.
Sure.
He liked it.
We should have got him a wheelchair though.
I know. That's what I kept saying. I was like, Dad, your feet hurt. Let's just put you in a wheelchair. But he was too stubborn.
I get Husband of the Year award. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I don't agree with
do.
giving you Husband of the Year because you
should.
just like. You were like, well, at least I'm here. I'm like, yeah, but you were there with a bad attitude. And
I didn't
I
have.
would have rather you
bad
not
attitude.
been there.
I never had a bad
all.
attitude.
No, you did.
Just hated.
You were like, good Lord, when can we leave?
I know. I mean, I did say that. That didn't mean I was in a bad attitude though. Anyways,
I loved it.
I don't think you did. You were like, you're kind of like.
I mean, you just made it so difficult to like have fun. It's all about who you're with, I think. Like if your partner is in a bad mood, like it's really hard to like.
You keep saying I was in a bad mood.
You
I
were.
wasn't in a bad mood.
You were.
I mean, I didn't have an open mind about it.
People were in that video. They were like, "Oh, John, he's like joking in this video." I was like, "No, John was like legitimately miserable in this video."
The only thing I liked doing was painting my face.
Yeah, brought you back to your childhood.
The other thing about that is, I think this is one of the first times we were with your parents and we were, getting recognized by people. And your dad, he was always standing behind me, and people come up to us like, "Oh, can we like take a photo with you?" Or like, just saying hi to us. And your dad's like, "That's 28, that's 29," and counting everyone that would like come up to us. I'm like,
Yeah, I think that every time that we've been in New York, we are always at their house and they've never seen us or experienced us get recognized before. So I think it was just exciting for them.
yeah, that was interesting. But the rest of the trip, we got to hang out at the beach. That's what I wanted. I had the beach at Daytona. And I starting to realize that we have a lot of nice beaches just in the States alone. Instead of going to other countries and trying to go to the beach, like Daytona's a huge beach. Outer Banks is a huge beach.
I didn't realize how big the Daytona 500 is.
Oh, the Motor
the
Speedway?
track.
Huge.
We
Our
have to
Uber
go.
gave us like all the,
the
he's like,
history
just
behind
2
it.
miles, like a 2-mile track. It holds 250,000
I
people.
bet I wonder if going to the Daytona 500 is one of those things where you're like excited, kind of like me going to Disney and Orlando. If it's like you build it up bigger in your head and then you get there and it's just like so loud and hot. Like I wonder if it's actually fun.
I would be there for the tailgate.
Yeah.
That'd be the big
I
part.
feel like that would be fun to
And
go
then stay
to.
for like the first hour. I don't know if I want to sit there for 4 hours. You
I
said
have
it's
to talk
4
to like
hours?
someone who's gone. I think it takes like 3.5 hours or something like that.
Formula One though, we gotta go.
Just happened in Miami.
We gotta do it. It looks awesome.
The funny thing though that I always recognize is at the beach, even though you're like, I can't wait to go to the beach and just relax. You can't relax at the beach. Like it is impossible for men to just lay down at the beach. You and Chris, within like 30 seconds, were like, I'm bored. What are we gonna do? Let's make up a beach game.
Well, your definition of relax is different than mine.
Yeah, mine is like
That is
reading a
relaxing.
book.
I got a drink in my hand. I'm playing whatever game Chris and I invented that day, and that's relaxing to me. So
Okay.
everyone's.
I just think it's funny that like I've never
Whatever's
seen
different.
you like relax at the beach.
I mean, I just can't sit there in the sun. I fry. But anyways, so that was Daytona. And then from Daytona, we went to Richmond. And
Saw your fam.
My family, everyone. It was great.
One thing though that I thought was so like on par for you was when we were in Richmond. We're all like getting ice cream after dinner. It was so enjoyable. John's sister is she's like me in a way. You basically married another version of your sister.
That's weird. No, I didn't.
Yep, well, you did. We just like talk, we're loud, we're fun. We're in line to get ice cream, and there's this little boy like perched up on like the counter where like his mom is ordering, and he's like complaining and just like crying and upset. And then his mom's ordering ice cream, and Jen's in line, John's sister, and she looks at him and she goes, aren't you so excited though? You're gonna get some ice cream. And she's just like trying to lighten the mood. John walks up like next to the kid and goes, don't talk to strangers.
Exactly. Don't fucking talk to strangers. I'm surprised Jen even did that. Jen loves
She
to
was trying
brag.
to like lighten, like make him happy, and you immediately ruin the mood. And you go, "Hey kid, don't talk to strangers." We were all like,
Life lesson. Jen loves to brag.
"You're a
about,
stranger." him.
I mean, I said a statement to him. I didn't ask for a rebuttal statement from the
She
kid.
didn't. She was also making a statement. She was
No,
like,
she did. She is. Aren't you glad? She's asking a question.
"Okay, okay."
I was stating a fact. And before you cut me off for the third time, Jen loves to brag about when we were kids, she saved me from an abductor from the front yard. I guess like some guy pulled up in his car in our cul-de-sac and I was like 2 and was like, "Hey, little boy, do you know how?" And it was asking me fucking directions.
Just you, or to you and Jen?
I guess just me, and Jen was in the house. She was like 5 and she screamed right out of the
Oh,
house.
you were
She
by
was like,
yourself. I thought you were both
"Stranger
outside.
danger."
So you were
I can't wait for
outside
everyone
alone.
to bash you for being like, she is so
John,
annoying
like,
because all
you
you do
also
is
cut
talk.
me off. You
I
also
was
cut me
telling a
off.
story.
But you're not like, you don't give the deets. So I'm just like, I'm clarifying for
Here's
everyone.
the deal. Do I have to give the deets within the first 3 seconds? Can I at least
Yes.
tell part of the story? I
No,
didn't
you
even
have to
get
tell
through
the
the
whole thing.
initial part of the story
All right,
before you interrupted
I'll
me.
be quiet and then you
We
tell
live in
it.
a cul-de-sac. I was probably 2. My sister was 5. A guy pulled up and said, "Hey, little boy, can you tell me where to go to blah, blah," asking me fucking directions. I don't remember this, so Jen could be lying. Who knows? And she runs out of the house and she's like, "Stranger danger, stranger danger," and is like screaming at him. And then my dad runs out of the house after the guy. Now I'm starting to wonder, why was I outside by myself at like 2? So maybe he was in the garage. I don't know. Early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, maybe a little more leeway to be by ourselves.
See, so like you should be forever grateful to your sister, because if it wasn't for her, you would be on a crime podcast right now.
I don't know.
And we would never be married. You would have
I
been
don't know if it's a
scooped up.
I don't know 100% if that's real or not.
You
But she
think that it's a
sure
lie.
likes to bring
But
it
your
up.
dad was there. Of course. If I saved my sibling's life, I would also bring it up and use it against them all the time.
Speaking about our parents, before we go into questions, just talking about like aging parents, seeing our parents, because it's been a long time, and just seeing them get older.
I
It's
know.
fucking sad.
But that means we're getting older too. Like when we went back, so many of my friends had babies. I was just meeting them all. I was like, oh my God, we're all getting old. But that's just life.
I'm gonna have a midlife
But they
crisis.
don't. But that's the thing, though. Like our parents, yeah, they're getting older. So are we. But like they don't seem like they still have a youthful energy to them.
right.
You
All
know.
of them do. Most of them do.
I just think that it's just the circle
It
of
makes
life.
you think, though. You know, you're like,
What makes you think about what?
do we need to be closer to them? I don't know. Like, what's gonna happen?
I talked to my therapist about this, John, and she says that you can't live in the fear of the what ifs for other people.
Okay, fair
You
enough.
can't.
Fair enough. I just have a bigger heart than you. Anyways. I just care more.
Yeah, that's what everyone has gathered.
Don't make me cry.
I think that you're just I honestly don't know. Like I don't know.
I'm a really good person.
Let's just move on. How about that? Okay. One thing that I did want to ask our listeners was, because obviously we want you to enjoy the podcast. We had season 1. This is season 2. Do you guys prefer us to chat about a singular topic? Like just ask questions or like read questions on a topic? Or do you like the variety in questions? You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like every episode is about like marriage or like, cheating or job stuff. Like,
Right.
I think that do you want like each episode to
Tell
focus
us what
on
you
one
want.
topic, or do you like the variety? Because like, I think it could be fun to like switch it. I don't know. You let us know what you guys are interested in.
I'll do whatever. I vote variety though. So it's not
Variety?
the same question 5 different times.
Well, it's not like it would be the same question, but I think it would be like under an
Same, like,
umbrella
right.
or
Yeah,
send
let us
us
know.
an email. My other thing that I wanted to say is thank you to everyone for writing in your questions. If we haven't answered, it's because we get thousands of questions. And generally, if we've already answered a similar type of question, we skip it. So if we've already like answered it in the same like wheelhouse, but otherwise, we'll get to it eventually.
Eventually.
That's what I wanted to say. And as a reminder, today's episode is sponsored by EveryPlate. Are you tired of spending a fortune on takeout? Do you want to save some serious dough while still enjoying mouth-watering meals? Well, folks, we've got the solution for you. Introducing EveryPlate, the meal kit delivery service that'll have your taste buds dancing and your wallet cheering. Say goodbye to expensive, fast, casual meals because EveryPlate is here to save the day. Their meals are a whopping 50% cheaper than your average greasy takeout joint. Cha-ching! But that's not all. Are you swamped with plans for a busy month of May? Don't sweat it. With EveryPlate, you could take back your precious time. No more endless trips to the grocery store or wasting hours in the kitchen. EveryPlate delivers pre-portioned ingredients right to your doorstep so you can have a delicious meal ready in 30 minutes or less. Heck, they even have 15-minute dinners for those days when you're really in a hurry. Imagine this, you come home after a long day and voila, your EveryPlate box awaits. EveryPlate offers a mouth-watering variety of 26 tasty and affordable recipes each week. And let's talk about the extras. EveryPlate doesn't stop at just main courses. They've got up to 22 sides, snacks, desserts, and more. So whether you're craving a tasty side dish, a scrumptious snack, or a delightful dessert, EveryPlate has you covered. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and enter the code GIVE149. You could get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal. Yes, only $1.49 per meal. That's up to a $110 value. So why wait? Say goodbye to pricey takeout and hello to EveryPlate. It's time to make fun plans for the late spring without breaking the bank. Go to everyplate.com/podcast right now, enter code GIVE149 and let EveryPlate revolutionize your mealtime experience. Your taste buds and your wallet. Well, thank you.
And we also want to thank Cerebral for sponsoring this podcast today. Did you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month? Well, I've got some news. It's time to give a big shout out to our friends at Cerebral, the 100% online mental health service that's here to save the day. If you're dealing with anxiety, depression, stress, insomnia, or maybe even burnout, traditional therapy visits can cost you a fortune, averaging over $100.
Fortune.
What did I say?
Fortune. You're doing your best. Fortune. Continue. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Fortune. I was doing good.
Keep going.
Averaging $100 per session, but fear not, because Cerebral is here to rescue your mental health and your wallet. Cerebral offers therapy and medication management for all your mental health needs. Whether you're just starting your journey or you're a seasoned mental health warrior, Cerebral is ready to lend a helping hand. Here's the best part. Cerebral is 100% online. Yep, you heard it right. No more awkward waiting rooms or pesky commuting. With Cerebral, all you need to do is take a brief questionnaire and they'll match you with a care team that fits your needs and preferences. It's like having a personalized support crew at your fingertips. And guess what? Cerebral doesn't stop at therapy sessions. Through their handy app, you could schedule your sessions, get your burning questions answered, and access additional mental health resources. It's like having a mental health toolbox right in your pocket. Now, we all know finding the perfect therapist can be tricky. Cerebral understands that the journey isn't always linear. If your therapist isn't a perfect match, they'll help you find a provider who meets your needs. But wait, there's more. With Cerebral, you get affordable treatments that are 1/3 the price of traditional therapy. That's right, your mental health matters, and Cerebral wants to make sure it's accessible to everyone. Plus, they offer treatment options that are available with or without insurance. Talk about flexibility. And here's the cherry on top. For Mental Health Awareness Month this May, Cerebral is giving you an exclusive 50% off your first month of therapy. Just head over to Cerebral.com/straight to grab this deal. That's Cerebral.com/straight for 50% off or more off your first month of therapy. Join Cerebral today and take control of your mental well-being. Your journey starts at Cerebral.com/straight.
All right. Shall we jump in, John?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Question 1. Who are your celebrity crushes? Do you believe in the celebrity pass? Like the hall pass?
What's your answer to that?
You go first.
No. What's yours?
Like, who's my celebrity crush?
The hall pass part.
No, you go first. You always, because then you get annoyed when I answer first. So now you want me to answer first?
I don't know. I feel like I would want to give you a pass, but then I would also murder you if you did. So probably no to the pass.
Well, who's your
But you could
celebrity
dream.
crush?
I don't know anymore. It used to be Kate Beckinsale,
She's
but
still a hottie.
how is she? I don't even know.
I think so. She was just dating Pete Davidson like 2 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, it was Kate Beckinsale.
Why was it Kate Beckinsale?
Underworld.
That was really quick.
I know she was hot in Underworld. Oh no, Click. I liked her in Click. She was like a nice lady.
That's interesting because I feel like in Click she wasn't like a sex icon, you know?
No, she was just like,
a
good person. And I was like, how dare you, Adam Sandler, for hurting her?
That was a good
I
movie.
just liked her. Who's yours?
Jason Momoa, Game of
No
Thrones.
shit. Still?
Probably. I mean,
Post divorce
post divorce.
or whoever he was just with?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to like who people are like married to or dating, except like Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. But I just, I don't know. I feel like that's just like my type of person. Tan,
You're right.
tats, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're-
There's a
we're
lot
both
of
over 6 foot.
attractive celebs out there. But the thing is, when it comes to like, do we believe in a celebrity pass? Like, who's your hall pass? You know, Jason Momoa or Kate Beckinsale. Like, if it actually came down to it, we would get divorced. Yeah,
you.
exactly. Like, no, I don't actually believe in that. Like, I
No.
think it'd be a cool opportunity. Like, if you like met her, but I can't imagine a world in which I'd be like, hey, John.
What
Jason
if it was
is
like
here,
all,
and I have an opportunity.
What about it was all 4 of us together?
Like in an orgy?
Yeah.
Like what? Still no. I'm still.
I'm just seeing like how could we do it where we're just like together, you know, still.
So you still think it's okay to do it?
It's like a team effort kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't think so either.
Good to know. Now I know who I'll never let you around. Next question. What were your favorite places that you've ever traveled to and why?
Iceland. I loved
was
Iceland.
cool. Yeah.
I want to go back, but I want to go back like and do our own thing there.
Right.
Because we were like part of a cruise when we did it, but like rent a car, drive around.
Have
It's
more
like a
time
really
there.
easy place to go. Everyone was so nice.
My favorite one was probably the Amazon rainforest. I feel like there was so many different animals there and like wildlife. I held a sloth. I saw an anaconda. It was cool. It was unique. Why are you giving me that look? You're like, oh, you're just jealous that you haven't been.
You're just like, what's like the most unique place I went? But like whatever.
Okay, and what was yours? Iceland? Like,
Yeah.
it's a cool spot, but like,
Get to relax. I love how completely different we are. I'm like, I could hang out in the
it's just
the
because
Blue Lagoon
you
and chill.
would be miserable going to the Amazon rainforest because you'd be afraid.
I wouldn't be miserable. I'd be on high alert.
That's my point.
High alert.
So you think that I'm saying it to like be cool?
You said you flipped over in the Amazon.
That was in Africa. That was the Nile River.
Is it piranhas?
Get
and
my
shit?
trip straight.
I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, no, we did go. It was in college. I went on like a study abroad trip, and it was just
You went to like find yourself.
sure. Is that what you did on your study abroad trip? You went to soul searching for John. You came back without any soul, so you
Basically.
didn't find him.
Or money. I turned 20. Well, no, I was 18. I went to Australia. It was my first time drinking in a bar. I was just,
Didn't you get deathly ill when you were on your study abroad trip?
no, I got deathly ill in Mexico when I first started dating you. And I
I
started
thought that
like
you got sick when you were traveling in Australia. No?
hungover. No, I was just drinking the whole
Really
time.
cat
They had
was-
the best beer.
I guess I'm not allowed to talk about my Amazon rainforest experience because it was too triggering for you. Maybe we should say what our favorite place we've traveled together has been. I know Iceland was one, but like, is that it? Like,
I want to say Amsterdam, but that guy on the fucking bike ruined it for me.
no matter where we go, John, someone is going to have ruined it for you in some sense. You said Iceland, except those 2 kids. This, except that. Like, what? Like,
I mean, I almost threw hands. I almost
no,
threw
you
hands.
didn't.
Yes, I did.
You literally turned the
That
bike around and
guy
you go,
tried
"Fuck
kicking your
this."
bike. He tried
No,
kicking your
didn't.
bike. Yes, he did.
He didn't kick my bike.
And he goes, and he also did. Maybe somebody doesn't like you because that's the second person
See,
that goes.
but like, I
"Fuck
don't
you"
let
to
that
you.
bother me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, Amsterdam was a cool spot. Like, I never even think about the
It's definitely
man
gonna bother
who
me.
was.
Of course, I'm gonna get bothered if some guy goes to my wife and goes, "Fuck you." I'm gonna get pissed.
If I'm not bothered,
He's lucky-
you should be bothered.
he's lucky I
was in
couldn't figure out the
way.
bike.
I mean, I was. Like, we were trying to figure out where the fuck we were going.
I mean, this bike store couldn't have been in the worst spot. It's like right on the road. And as soon as you better sink or swim, you go straight to the right with 1,000 other bikes. And if you can't survive that turn, it's over.
The thing about Amsterdam is it's so accessible. It's cute. It's clean, but it is a bike city. Like, there's more bikes than there are cars. Like, that is the chosen way of transportation. But it's true. Like, they are no bullshit. They know where they're going, all the locals. And if you come in, like, I'm sure they could spot a tourist from a mile away. They're like, fucking get out of the bike lane. So
You did it on fucking purpose.
yeah, I mean, I was confused where I was
No,
going.
he did, not you.
I know. I was saying
Oh.
he, like, If you were a local in Amsterdam and tourists were constantly fucking up your bike path, you are also the type of person who would be like, fucking get out of the way. That would be you. Yeah, you know it would.
Amsterdam as a whole is fucking awesome. I love the canal. So cool. I almost went to prison that day.
No, you didn't.
We took a turn. We were with our friends. They were gone. They didn't even look back. Alex almost gets like kicked over. I somehow was horizontal in a line of everyone going towards me. I'm just like in the impact zone. I pick the bike up over my head. I go, this is it. That's it.
Oh, and
I walk across the street.
At that same moment, people were like, are you guys on TikTok?
Oh.
And I was like, yeah. And John's like, now is not the time.
I know. I go, I did. I had the bike over. I go, not now. Yeah. And I take the bike and I go back to the leg. I go, take the bike. She's like, well, I was like, I don't care about the
She's
refund.
like, you paid $40 per bike for the day. Like, I can't refund you. And John was like, I don't give a shit. We're walking everywhere from now on.
It was awful.
So long story long, Amsterdam was cool.
Yeah. Amsterdam.
Next question. The website says you've been married a little over a year. How long have you been together? What was your dating experience before you met each other?
What website?
I think our Give It To Me Straight website, we haven't updated it. And so it does say it's like newlyweds, but we've been
that
married.
one or like the one that was made?
The Give It To Me Straight website.
The cool one.
No, the old Give It To Me Straight website.
All right.
There is no new one.
I don't even think I've seen that one.
It's the old one when we started the website. Anyway, we've been together. That's like, it doesn't matter, John. Like, that's the information that they're sharing just because you don't know what our brand is. We've been married for almost 4 years. Actually, fuck, I should have let you answer that. You would have been like, all right, so how long have we been together?
Almost 4 years.
No, how long have we been together, though?
6 years.
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I think it's almost 7 years, but
sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And what was your dating experience before you met each other?
I think you said hours. I was like, it was hard.
It really wasn't. We just like weren't on the same page of like what we wanted, and until we were, and then it was butterflies and rainbows.
Yay. Dating experience before Alex, had only like 2 serious relationships. And then I was like, that's it. And then just
me too.
Hangouts.
I had 2 serious relationships before you. And then I just had
Hangouts.
Cute.
People got so butthurt at our last little like podcast clip to like college experiences, like
just so you want to be a hoe.
Like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, it's so funny though, because again, you just never know where a clip on social media is going to hit on like what side of TikTok, like where
who's going to hate us today.
Yeah. But like, it's funny because a lot of people were like, the comment section did not pass the vibe check. It was like, we're not saying that a relationship can't be successful long distance or if it's like your high school sweetheart. We're just saying that wasn't our experience.
Is it funny that people get triggered? Like, I have no idea who you are.
Yeah.
I have no idea who you are, where you're from, anything. And people are like,
well, I've been dating my wife since kindergarten, and we've been married for 10 million years, and
it works.
And it works. And I'm like,
okay.
Oh my God, Kevin, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about what worked for us. However, congratulations. I hope it does last.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I just think you never know with the short clips because it's like there's no context around what we're saying. So you also can't blame those people, but you're like,
watch the full episode. Though I'm probably still just as fucked up in the full episode that I am from that short clip, but
I think again, it's never black and white. Like everything that we say is so gray. I mean, of course, there are certain things that are black and white.
Fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy.
It's fairy dust.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Next question. My fiance owns a home and I rent. We're about to move into his house, but there's a catch. The house is split with his sister, so they both live there for the next at least 15 years if one can't buy the other out. So tell me, am I in the right to feel uncomfortable about living with another person for that period of time with my husband? Or is this a thing that people do?
Yes.
Like
15 years, even 1 year. I'd be like, how long?
I would also use the argument, like with your husband, like fabulous, you have a house, but like he has a roommate and his roommate is his sister. Like, can can she then move out and find another roommate, or vice versa? Like, you and your husband should be getting a place together. You don't need, as a married couple, to be living with a roommate. I mean, you can if it's a financial thing. Some people do it. It's fine. But like, if you don't have to do it for financial purposes, that's not going to be a fun time. So
That's
in short, is this the thing people do? It can be, but
I mean, this is the first time I've heard this scenario.
Think about it. Like, some people
I'm sure
like
it happens,
move
but
in like with their parents. You know, they're married and they live a year with their parents in an apartment,
not
or
a 15-year commitment, not knowing that there's
No,
an
no, no.
actual
No.
15-year term
I
commitment
think
to
like
it.
I would, if I was you, I would have a goal with my husband and be like, 1 year max, like we're buying her out. You know what I mean? Or like whatever, you have to have some sort of goal there.
But know that
or timeline.
that may or may not be obtainable. What I would do, because you don't know, that was like us saying we're gonna live with your grandmother max 8 months, and we were there for 2 years.
But
So be prepared to potentially stay there longer. What I would do is talk to your husband and just think of literally any other option that there is available, because that sounds like a horrible idea.
again, I think if it's a short-term thing, like even like 1 to 2 years is like still short-term. It's going to like suck. But 15 years to commit to that and be like, oh, well, 15 years, that's what it could potentially be. I'd be like, absolutely not.
You could try to like
Who even stays in a house for 15 years anymore at this
normal
point?
people, just not us.
We're like, we buy this house, we sell this house. We buy this house, we sell this house. I just feel like, who even lives in the same place for 15 years? I guess people do, but
I think another option you could do
Our
is like
parents.
see if his sister has like any friends or anyone that may want to rent it out and she's
Right.
cool with, and then you can use that income potentially unless you're just breaking even, for you guys to maybe find a nicer apartment to live in or
Or-
something.
you could put down, like, again, you use that as your rental home, like your investment property, and then you buy another home if you can. There's options there, but I just want you to feel
Don't rush into it.
valid in your emotions
Yeah.
that living with a sibling with your husband for 15 years, that is not
That's tough.
normal. Next question. Alex, I heard you mention how therapy has helped you a lot. I've been thinking about starting therapy myself. What are some tips you would give about finding a therapist that's right for you? Have you been with the same one? Have you switched? I got really lucky. I found my girl right away on the internet.
She the first one.
Yeah, which I heard from people before finding a therapist, that they were like, you have to date your therapist. Like, you're going to find someone, you might not like them. You have to move on. I'm really lucky. I also met her in person for the first time last week. I love my therapist, but I just think that I got really lucky. I think that there are online reviews for certain ones, or get references, like if you know that friends are in therapy, but it's not always going to be like when you first start with someone, like it's going to be growing pains, just like dating, where you feel like a little bit uncomfortable opening up at first, but you want someone that you can like have a connection to. It shouldn't feel awkward.
I think you'll know within the first couple
Yeah.
of minutes of talking to somebody if you're going to vibe or not.
Like, I knew within the first session that I was like, okay, this is someone who I'm willing to move forward with to do session 2. And then after the second session, I was like, I love this bitch. And then we've been together ever since.
Yeah, I think you're lucky though, because
It's
I don't think
yeah.
everyone stays with one.
But don't go into it thinking like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to find someone. So I think it's just like dating, honestly. And then until you find someone that you like. I love that we got that therapy question because it is perfect for today's sponsor, Cerebral. Did you know that May is Mental Health Awareness Month? Well, I've got news. It's time to give a big shout out to our friends at Cerebral, the 100% online mental health service that's here to save the day. If you're dealing with anxiety, depression, stress, insomnia, or maybe even burnout, traditional therapy visits can cost you a fortune, averaging over $100 per session. But fear not, because Cerebral is here to rescue your mental health and your wallet. Cerebral offers therapy and medication management for all your mental health needs. Whether you're just starting your journey or you're a seasoned mental health warrior, Cerebral is ready to lend a helping hand. Here's the best part. Cerebral is 100% online. No more awkward waiting rooms or pesky commuting. With Cerebral, all you need to do is take a brief questionnaire and they'll match you with a care team that fits your needs and preferences. It's like having a personalized support crew at your fingertips. Cerebral doesn't stop at just therapy sessions. Through their handy app, you could schedule your sessions, get your burning questions answered, and access additional mental health resources. It's like having a mental health toolbox right in your pocket. Now, we all know that finding the perfect therapist can be tricky, like we talked about. And Cerebral understands that the journey isn't always linear. If your therapist isn't a perfect match, they'll help you find a provider who meets your needs. But wait, there's more. With Cerebral, you get an affordable treatment that are 1/3 the price of traditional therapy. That's right. Your mental health matters, and Cerebral wants to make sure it's accessible to everyone. Plus, they offer treatment options that are available with or without insurance. Talk about flexibility. And here's the cherry on top. For Mental Health Awareness Month this May, Cerebral is giving an exclusive 50% off your first month of therapy. Just head over to cerebral.com/straight to grab this deal. That's cerebral.com/straight for 50% off for your first month of therapy. Join Cerebral today and take control of your mental well-being. Your journey starts at cerebral.com/straight.
Today's episode is sponsored by EveryPlate. Are you tired of spending a fortune on takeout? Do you want to save some serious dough while still enjoying mouth-watering meals? Well, folks, we've got the solution for you. Introducing EveryPlate, the meal kit delivery service that'll have your taste buds dancing and your wallet cheering. Say goodbye to expensive, fast, casual meals because EveryPlate is here to save the day. Their meals are whopping 50% cheaper than your average greasy takeout joint. Cha-ching! But that's not all. Are you swamped with plans for the busy month of May? Don't sweat it. With EveryPlate, you could take back your precious time. No more endless trips to the grocery store or wasting hours in the kitchen. EveryPlate delivers pre-portioned ingredients right to your doorstep so you can have a delicious meal ready in 30 minutes or less. Heck, they even have 50-minute dinners for those days when you're in a real hurry. Imagine this. You come home after a long day and voila, your EveryPlate box awaits, filled with everything you need to whip up a fantastic feast. No more stressing about what's for dinner or eating the same boring meals on repeat. EveryPlate offers a mouth-watering variety of 26 tasty and affordable recipes each week. Now let's talk about the extras. EveryPlate doesn't stop at just main courses. They got up to 22 sides, snacks, desserts, and more. So whether you're craving a tasty dish or a scrumptious snack or a delightful dessert, EveryPlate has you covered. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and enter the code GIVE149. You can get started with EveryPlate for just $1.49 per meal. Yes, you heard that right. Only $1.49 per meal. That's up to $110 value. So why wait? Say goodbye to pricey takeout and hello to EveryPlate. It's time to make fun plans for the late spring without breaking the bank. Go to everyplate.com/podcast right now and enter code GIVE149 and let EveryPlate revolutionize your mealtime experience. Your taste buds and your wallet will thank you.
My voice hurts from talking too much. I have no voice.
That's what happens when you don't stop talking for 2 weeks.
I think I just yell. Again, I need to go to voice therapy.
I think it's you just talk in excitement all the time. Like your main is just your.
But how do singers sing fucking tours and not lose their voice?
I just don't think
I don't speak properly.
You talk like you're competing for airtime. Like no one's trying to like cut you off. Maybe on this podcast a little bit. Like when you're when you're just having conversations with people, you're like, you're screaming.
Do you know what it's like though? Like growing up in an Italian family.
I do.
And your family's the same way.
No, that's not.
Like everyone in your
I don't
family.
talk. My sister is just naturally loud, but I never tried talking over her. I don't know, like, what was up with you?
I think it's just like you're one or the other. Like you're either.
Because your brother's quiet like me.
Right, but I just feel like
Who are you competing with growing up? Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
Brianna. She also likes to talk. You know,
everyone took a backseat to you. Let's be honest. I don't know. You just talked for everyone, so I don't know who you're competing with.
Fine, John. Then we can cancel this podcast, and I won't say anything anymore.
No. I'm saying that's why you lose your voice.
I talk too fucking much. I'll shut the fuck up.
You talk like you're fighting for airtime. That's all at all times, and I think that's why your voice is off.
That's literally not it. It's just because I have a fun time with my
You
friends.
do. I'm glad because
And
if you
family.
didn't talk, we'd be fucked. We'd just stand there in silence. But
I'm mad at
did
you.
you have a speech, an SLP reach out to you? Or was it like a
Yes, I did. Like,
You're-
because I complained about my voice because I lost my voice all the time on season 1. And I was like, someone teach me how. And then she gave me like notes on how to properly like use my voice.
why are you like straining from your neck when you
I think I
talk?
speak like too low.
No, are you supposed to speak from your diaphragm?
Correct. Like I'm using it from my like throat. I'm just straining my vocal cords.
So not low enough
Anyway.
is what I'm saying. You're from here. Coming down here.
How do you speak? Like, can you sing?
No.
Yeah, you can.
Give me a song. I wish I could sing that song from Step Brothers.
I don't know why. Wow. Songbird of our generation.
Catalina Wine Mixer song.
We're going
that he
soon.
did.
Can't wait. All
Next
right.
question.
Next
Come on.
question. I'm looking for some career advice. I'm wondering how you both went about finding what you're good at and enjoy doing. I'm 24 and have been in the same career for a couple of years now. I never find myself waking up and thinking, holy shit, I'm so excited to go to work today. I don't know if that's just how it is or if I should explore other options.
You're 24. Explore if you can, if you have the opportunity.
I do want to preface though and say that like even if you are doing what you're passionate about, work is work. You know, like I don't think that anyone, I mean, maybe there are people who are literally like, I'm so excited to work today, but like I just think that even when your passions become your work, like it becomes a little bit less of your passion because it's like
Right.
it's a job. You know, you're doing it to survive and to make money. But with that said, you are young still. I don't think that you should just settle into a career because you think that no one's going to be happy in their job. Like if you can enjoy what you do for work.
I think there will always be jobs. You'll always be able to go back and find something, but now it's probably the time for you to fuck around and find out, you know?
Fuck around and find out. But
I think you had it well said though, because it is like we are doing what we want to do. And I still feel like it's a job.
I mean, 'cause it
career.
is.
I mean,
yeah.
I will say there's a little more excitement of what we do than what I used to do because every day is different. The cool thing about what we do, not saying you're asking us, but it's like we can sink or swim. You know, it's either we're gonna do great things or we could, you know, fall apart. I don't know. Every day is different, so it's not a steady job, and that's like depends on what you want to do. You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to work for somebody else? I've tried to figure out those things first before you just leave a job.
Well, and to your point, when you said, I'm wondering how you both went about finding what you're good at and enjoy doing, like I knew I wanted to do something in the video field, but like my first job in the video field was working for a tech company making animations for like IBM and I hated it. And then I was like, is this what it is? Like, I don't want to be doing this. And then I got into weddings and then burnt out from doing weddings and then, you know, music video. Like there's all different things. So I think the way that you figure out what it is that you actually want to do is by trying new things. And like we always eventually transition or develop into something new, you know, like once we've like conquered one element in the field, we're like on to the next thing. So I just think you have to like trust your gut, like hone into like what it is that you value and what you wouldn't hate doing every day, you know?
no regrets.
What are your talents?
No regrets.
Yes. Next question. Am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law babysit? My mother-in-law was extremely neglectful to my wife when she was a child. For example, when my wife was 5 and her sister was 3, they were dropped off at their grandparents' house and she, mother-in-law, didn't return to get them for 3 years. Didn't say a word, just showed up one day asking for the kids. Another example is my wife's grandparents had received full custody and gave mother-in-law visitation. Grandparents went to drop off for visitation and mother-in-law had moved without telling anyone. Now mother-in-law is insisting on babysitting and I won't have it, but my wife refuses to say anything to her.
Where is the mother-in-law at, like, mentally now? Like, is she in a good place? Have things changed, or is she still like, I don't know, shady?
Right, like
Because that's the thing. Like,
was she a presence in her life, in your wife's life after all of this? Or like, has this been a pattern where she's been neglectful like all of these years? Like, was she at the wedding? You know what I mean? Because from 5 years old until, you know, maybe your late 20s or 30s is a lot of time for someone to get their shit together. However, from based off of like what you've written, it sounds like there's still a lack of trust there.
Right.
And I think ultimately you have to trust your gut, and protecting your kids is number one priority. So if you're already feeling, and I'm only,
If you're already feeling uneasy about it, like
Yeah.
but the two of you need to get on the same page first off. And if she has come around, and I understand why you're uneasy, do it in small steps. If you guys are able to do that, like maybe have her come over while you're there to supervise, and just kind of like steadily.
I think too, like this is an ongoing, and again, we don't have kids, but from all of my friends who do have children, this is an ongoing issue that people have with in-laws. It's like not respecting their boundaries, or them thinking that they know best from when they were raising kids 30 years ago. And it's like things have changed, things have like, and just because you were an adult and like raised your kids however you thought was great doesn't mean that you would make a great parent or figure to my kids now, So I just think that like you have to be selfish when it comes to your own kids, and ultimately protect them and do what you think is best, regardless of like someone else's hurt feelings. Who gives a shit? Like if you don't think that your mother-in-law is a good, healthy person for your kids to be around, ultimately someone who you don't
Your
trust.
instinct will guide you in the right direction. So
Right.
I agree.
Next question. My question is related to love languages. I recently started dating a guy I met on Hinge. I liked him first and we matched. On the first few dates, I noticed that he wasn't being that touchy with me. On the 5th date, I took advantage of our boozy date, so I brought up love languages to eventually bring up how physical touch is important to me. So I asked him his, and he had the audacity to say that physical touch was his. I called bullshit and we laughed it off before we got to chatting about the rest of our love languages. He's getting better at being touchy, even though I have to initiate it. I'm noticing, however, that he's using words of affirmation more. John, help me out here. I grew up as the older sister and have always been more guarded. I've been more comfortable giving physical touch and acts of service. He will comment on the looks and personality, which has been appreciated over text messages. But whenever I try to give words of affirmation, it doesn't come out as natural, and I even give myself the ick when reading back my own messages. John, what are examples of words of affirmation that you like to receive? And Alex, was it hard to start giving words of affirmation, or were you already familiar with giving that love language? I'm just like thinking about how whenever John does talk about words of affirmation, I crumple. I'm like, you are cute.
I don't know if I like I like simple words of affirmation. Like when we went to Hawaii and you were like trying to say nice shit and I got uncomfortable and I put you in a headlock.
Oh yeah, that is what happens. Like John's always been a words of affirmation person. So I was like,
But like
we
little-
go back.
maybe little
Let's just
stuff.
tell the story though. We go back to the spot that we got engaged. And this was like 3 years after we had got engaged. And I'm like, okay, like this was a really tough year for John and I. We're going to go back to this spot and I'm just going to express to him how important he is to me. Like my husband, I'm so lucky because he's words of affirmation. I was like, he's really going to appreciate this. We get to the fucking top of the mountain where we are. And I turn John and I start expressing my love for him, like words of affirmation. He gets this look on his face and he's like, shut the fuck up, and puts me in a fucking headlock. And I'm like, I'm trying to say nice things. And he's like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know if it's because you couldn't handle it and you were getting emotional.
I don't think I could handle it. No, I couldn't handle it.
You
I didn't
do.
wanna
You
start
get a little
crying.
emotional.
I don't know.
Sweet.
So I don't know. Do I like it or not?
I think you
does
just
that
aren't
mean?
used to it. So you get overwhelmed when I do say it.
Yeah.
But I do struggle
Just like I
with
hate
it.
when people do happy birthday. It makes me so uncomfortable.
You
Happy
cry.
birthday is so uncomfortable to me.
Not anymore. Someone just, well, it was joint. They sang happy birthday to both of us.
I could not wait for it to be over. I was like,
Wait, your birthday is this weekend.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
On Mother's
I'm
Day.
getting old. Yeah, I gotta share it.
But I will say that it does take practice. It's not easy, but I think, you have to flex certain muscles in order to get better at it.
I would start off simple though. You don't
Right.
need some long fucking poem just to be like,
But like what helps you feel
are
love?
they just dating?
Um
I'm assuming
yeah, I
they're
mean
gonna say,
they've
love
been
you.
together, like she was talking about on their 5th date. So, I don't know how long they've been together, but
You just
yeah,
say
they-
something like small, like I just want to let you know, like I'm having such an amazing time, like spending time with you or whatever. Something simple like that. But you got to say it like you mean it though, because if you say it in a way like it could come off sarcastic or whatever. So say it like you mean it. But you don't need to do some long drawn out thing because that would make me uncomfortable as shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
You also
the
don't want
way
to
that
spook them.
I learned is by, to your point, just saying like more like quick digestible things, like whether it's telling you that I appreciate you or how attracted to you I am or how good you look or like you work hard, whatever it is. But it was not easy to start. I like would be like, I think you're cool. Like,
You're my special
you're
friend.
my special friend. You're my best friend.
I should just be like, come over here.
Well, mine is physical touch. I'm
know.
like, it takes practice. That's all I'll say. But any other tips there, John? Mr. Words of Affirmation.
Small, precise, and mean it. I think those are the main ones. I guess if you're doing it over a text though, or do they see each other a lot? She was saying like I was trying to text them out
Well,
stuff.
no, like they're dating, but they're also like texting, you know? Like when
Actually,
they're not-
texting is easy to digest too, because it's like if I was him, like I could just read it and be comfortable in my own space, like reading this message, you know, instead of like you right in front of me telling me something. I could see
Right.
being uncomfortable.
But
at
again, I
first.
don't think it has to be like super drawn out.
Right.
It could just be
Keep it
like,
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. How much alone time is too much in a relationship? My partner and I have recently been struggling with time management for our relationship. We both work a lot, her especially. She manages a large team, so she's around people all day. She also has to keep on a happy face and deal with awful customers. When she comes home, all she wants to do is be left alone. I'm all for alone time. I think it's healthy and important, but how much is too much? She says she loves me and it's nothing personal, but she just prefers alone time to spending time together. I know she means well, but it still hurts. In a way, I'm sad. I feel like I can't be her way of healing from the day. Rather than diving into my arms, she dives into the couch and her phone. I try to please her by making her dinner when she walks in. I give her alone time for hours, and she barely has any time left in the day to be together. It's affecting our sex life. She has allowed work to consume every bit of energy she has left. So by the time she gets home, she wants nothing to do with anything or anyone. When I'm the opposite, and after a long day, I just want to be with her. Any thoughts or helpful comments?
That's really tough. I definitely resonate with her though, especially like when I was a therapist. Last thing I want to do is talk to anyone. I'm shot. I'm just burnt out mentally and I'm drained. But
We actually had another question too come in from the opposite perspective where the guy, he was like, I'm too burnt out for my wife. And he was like, I want to be there for her emotionally, but I just don't know how. So I think that this is a constant battle in relationships where, you know, people are delegating their time and energy into other things and then find it hard to come together.
I mean, that it's an unfortunate truth that happens though. It's like where your job is the priority. And then it's almost like your relationship comes next,
I
which
know,
it
but
does because you're there all fucking day and you need a job to survive. So it kind of takes priority. I'm not saying it should be.
Right. I was just going to say like,
No,
but
no,
like,
I'm not saying it should be, but it's an unfortunate truth. You guys got to meet halfway there. Cause like, I understand like she needs her me time and like give it to her in so she could decompress a little bit when she first gets home, but she also needs to reciprocate to you, like how you feel.
I think like finding things that are a brain break for her without like that could be active hanging out with you at the same time. Like instead of her diving into her phone, what if you guys like watch a movie together or like go to the movies together? You know what I mean? And then like grab dinner afterwards, or you order in dinner and then you watch a movie together. Like just something where she doesn't necessarily have to be like chatting with you, but you guys are still spending time together. And I know that that's not like active quality time. It's more like passive quality time together, but I think it's still something.
To start.
Yeah.
And sit together too, like not on opposite couches. Like maybe even that just physical contact will ease it a little bit.
Right. But having that conversation with her that like to you, it feels important and like you're feeling neglected. I think it's the phone thing too, because it's like, I think that's a crutch for a lot of people to have a brain break by going on their phones and just scrolling, and you get sucked in and you really do miss what's happening around you. Like it might feel like a brain break in the moment, like, oh, I'm just like taking some time to scroll, but like your brain is still active and taking in all this information, which is ultimately only going to make you more tired and exhausted. So I just think if you can explain that in a way.
I'm just going to throw this out. I don't know. I'm just thinking of stuff for her. Like what if she tried to decompress, other ways of decompressing that either you could be involved in or not, but still is me time for her. Like her getting off of work and maybe just trying to go straight to the gym and just like working out like her.
Or you guys like go on a walk together.
Sure.
If you have a dog.
You don't have to talk and walk.
Yeah.
You just walk together and
Exactly.
decompress.
Listen to music, like put on a playlist, walk, grab a glass of wine or coffee or tea, just like
and
go
just
on a walk.
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you could do, but I think too, like it's about having your partner be on the page and on the same page of wanting that as well. Cause it's hard when the other person isn't really active in trying to have like that me time together with you. You know,
you do need to explain how you feel, which I'm sure you have, but
I think you could just say like, I respect that you want your alone time. I'm willing to give that to you, but like, I also would like some quality time with you. Like I'm feeling like our relationship is drained from that. Because it's, unless something does change, you're only going to like grow further apart with
Right.
one another. So best of luck. But that is it.
done.
Done.
I mean, my ick is definitely Disney World. I mean, it was a fucking nightmare.
That's your whole ick?
It is, but my other ick, and I can't blame the airlines. I wish people can get arrested faster on planes.
For what?
Just
What do
like-
you mean? Just like
just being a piece
you're
of shit.
allowed, get arrested.
You're allowed.
John, like
Just shut the fuck up.
there's
Don't put your phone on speaker and I can hear your whole conversation. You're just yelling into your fucking
guys,
phone.
we landed yesterday at 1 a.m. LAX. So people are like obviously trying to
Remember,
set up
she
their
said
rides.
1 a.m.
So the people are trying to set up their rides. Phones are going off, blinging, booping, bopping. And this guy, his ringer was so loud. He answers his phone and I'm like, whatever. Like, it's still annoying just having a conversation. Puts it on speaker. Loud. This girl, she's like, hey, where are you? I'm over at this terminal. I'm going to do a loop around, blah, blah, blah. But not only that, their conversation continues for another 10 minutes. She talks about Airbnb and how she's renting this house and the
Alex does the whole
homeowner is charging them per person, which is crazy. Like it's an extra $600. And I'm also like, that is crazy. I didn't know that they could charge you extra per person. But she's like, I don't know what to do. I've contacted Airbnb. And he's just like, oh, okay. And she's just talking to herself. It would be like if you were on a plane and answered a phone call from me on speaker, like I would just be talking to myself the whole time.
It's just common courtesy. Like, shut the fuck up, everyone. Like, be courteous of your neighbor. Anyways, it's just common courtesy that people getting up and trying to fucking cut you off in the lane. It's like we all have to get off the plane. We all have connectors. Everyone's late. And I can hear people behind us like, well, mine's in 20 minutes. Well, mine's in 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. There's 30 people in front of you. Just fucking wait like the
And like
rest of us.
everyone had a connector
I know.
in Dallas. Like we got it. We're all running late.
It's crazy though when people are in a panic,
Right.
like what they'll do.
Yeah.
If there was like a disaster, we're
Well,
fucked.
think about the pandemic times where everyone went crazy over toilet paper. Like, get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
LOL.
But
Well, that was my ick. Your ick, I thought, was just going to be amusement parks.
well,
in
my ick
general.
is like I'm gonna blame. Like I'm legit having anxiety over planes now. Like my ick is myself.
Yours isn't because of the people, though.
No,
Yours
no,
is
no.
because of the
I know.
turbulence.
If you let me tell my ick, I was gonna
Okay,
say
well,
that.
you also just stole my ick, so
Let's steal my ick. Go ahead. What I'm saying
This
is, I was fine as a kid, like on a plane, never bothered me, and ever since like last year, and we had some like rough turbulence. Now I'm just like braced for impact every time there's like a little bump, and Alex has to like rub my arm.
I'm
I'm
like,
sitting there like,
"It's okay."
I'm like, oh my god.
you need to just like take a Xanax or
I
some
think
shots
so.
or something. Yeah.
It's because I can't. If I'm driving, I know what's happening. I'm in the back of this plane. I don't know what's in front of us. Nothing, but you know.
But you remember that analogy, right? Like the plane in Jello, like turbulence is not gonna, I mean, it's scary sometimes when it's like really bad, but like you're gonna be fine. It's okay. Are you like thinking about it and getting nervous?
Just like
Oh my gosh, John, you're just getting worse the older that you get. I think
that's the only thing I care about is the plane because I can't control it
no, you're like a worrier
with the plane. Yeah.
and everything.
Okay. On that note,
Wait, now I feel like I have to come up with a different ick. I guess this isn't technically an ick, but it's just like a story.
that's what we need, more stories. Go ahead.
When we were in Florida, John, he always gets on me for losing things. And I'm like, I never lose anything. I just misplace them. Like if I can't find my debit card or like my wallet or like Kobe. I'm like, they're in the house somewhere. I just don't know where yet, but I find it eventually. So John, he's tearing apart our hotel room. He goes, where the fuck are my AirPods? Like, and I'm like, oh no.
AirPod case.
Did John lose his AirPod case? And I'm like, or did you misplace it? So I'm giving John shit about losing his AirPod case. We like go to the gym, we come back, and I'm like going through my purse and I find them. And I was like, oh fuck, like I thought that these were mine and I put them in my purse. So I just like took them out
so
while
funny.
John was in the shower and I just like put them on the dresser and I was like, he's never gonna find out.
No, you
that
said I
these
found
are in
them. I go,
my
where'd you
purse."
find them? You're like, don't worry about them. I'm like, you had them, didn't you? Now I'm wondering if I have your left AirPod.
Is my left AirPod missing?
No, but mine doesn't work. Ever
So
since
why would
then.
that be mine?
Ever since then.
John, mine were in my case. Yours were in your ears. Don't try to blame me for your broken AirPods.
You did something to it.
No, I didn't.
They haven't worked since.
No,
They haven't worked right
They
since.
weren't working right before that. Anyway,
Whatever. Anyways.
my ick is you thinking you don't lose anything, but you technically lost those.
Okay. Or you took them. Let's read a review.
All right. Review.
Review time.
This is a short and sweet one from Review Call. ... Just sheer perfection. Short and sweet. I love it.
I like it.
And
Straight to the
you're not
point.
wrong.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week.
You can find us at Give It To Me Straight podcast. Give It To Me Straight. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe. Follow us. Send an
Like,
email.
comment, review.
Hello at giveittomestraightpodcast.com. And we will see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.